What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. And in today's video we are going to be discussing a very important and very hotly debated topic within the MMA community, or just within the sort of community in general. The topic going around online, the debate going around right now is, could 100 men, 100 average men, I assume the standard is, beat a adult full-sized silverback gorilla? That is the question going around. Lucas Tracy has weighed in. Before anyone says I'm copying his video, I put up a community post before his video came out, about a few hours beforehand, declaring that I was going to do a tier list of how many of these UFC fighters it would take to beat a gorilla. So don't call me a fucking copycat artist. I've thought of this idea the second I thought of this idea the second I saw this shit going around online. So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing in today's video, discussing 48. I might just put 50 in the title just to make it look better. It's 48 fighters because the tier list can't fit anymore. Yeah, I'm going to be discussing a bunch of fighters, ranging them on a tier list all the way from one is enough down to unlimited punching bags, just for those who are just going to get beaten up. But first of all, let's just take a brief look at the gorilla's stats, just to sort of get an idea what we're going to be working with. Let me just, Jamie, pull up a silverback gorilla. Where I'm literally searching up silverback gorilla stats right now as we speak. So these guys, right, they typically weigh between 135 and 195 kilos, so 300 to 430 pounds. Taito Ivasa range right there. They stand 1.5 to 1.8 meters tall, so pretty much they're just midgets. We'd mog them. I would realistically height mog a silverback gorilla. Yeah, they stand max 1.8 meters tall for the most part. So they're between 4'11 and 5'11, so that's tough. Imagine being 4'11, just couldn't be me. And their arm span can range between 2.3 and 2.6 meters. So yeah, they're, how much is 2.3 meters in inches? 2.3 meters in inches. Yeah, these motherfuckers have a 90-inch reach. These guys have a 90-inch reach. Yeah, we might be cooked, chat. Between 2.3 and 2.6. So 2.6 the larger range. So let's see. 2.6. 102-inch reach is nuts. Alright, so maybe we're cooked and maybe they just like fucking Sean Woodson max us. But yeah, we're going to be talking about these UFC fighters, and we're going to be discussing how many of a certain fighter it would take to beat a gorilla. Yeah, you guys let me know if you agree or not. Maybe I'm a casual when it comes to gorilla knowledge. But anyway, let's get started. Subscribe if you want more dumb fucking ideas like this. Stay tuned and we'll produce some more cookery on this channel. But anyway, let's get underway. So the first fighter that we are going to discuss is... the first fighter is Drew Dober. One Drew Dober is enough. You guys know the law with Drew Dober. Drew Dober's got experience dealing with these types of creatures. I'm sure he would handle a gorilla with absolute ease. Look how he handled Rafael Alves. Look how he handled Terrence McKinney and Bobby Green. You're telling me this man can't take out a silverback gorilla? Racially motivated, charged up, full triple K Drew Dober is putting work on a gorilla and finishing it within 2 rounds. Anyway, let's move on to the next fighter. We got Tom Aspinall. I'm going to say between 5 and 20 Aspinalls could beat a gorilla. Now, some people are going to be like, oh my god, bro, what are you saying, man? It wouldn't even 50 Aspinalls wouldn't be. I'm calling cap that 20 Tom Aspinalls couldn't fucking sleep a gorilla. You're telling me that, like, 5 of these guys just come in from all, like, the 10 of these dudes come in from all angles and blitz a fucking gorilla. And you're telling me, like, bro, you've looked up the stats. This thing is not 700 pounds, 7 feet tall. Like, these things are not rocking, like, what's some build? Like, these things are not built that crazy. Like, they're strong as fuck and they're, like, durable. But, like, they don't have a crazy build. Like, these guys are just built like an in-shape Taito Ivasa. Like, that's the height. They're not that tall. It's not like you're going to be punching up at some fucking, like, enormous creature. Like, it's at your eye line. Aspinall would be taller than the fucking gorilla. Unless it stands up on its hind legs, then I guess... I don't know if I guess gorillas do that to walk around and shit. I don't know. If it stands up on its hind legs, it could be tough. But then you just push it over, you know? I'm calling cap that these dudes stand up on their hind legs and start throwing boxing combinations. Like, these dudes are gonna swing wildly, do some retard shit, gonna be out there looking like Sergey Pavlovich, and Aspinall's just gonna sleep him with a 1-2. I back like 10 Aspinalls to beat a gorilla, let's be real. Anyway, let's move on to the next fighter, Hamza Chimaev. I think between 20 and 45 Hamza Chimaevs would be able to get the job done. Now, when you're looking for like how many of these people you're going to need to beat the gorilla, you're thinking of like finishing potential, power, like knockout ability if you're going to knock out the gorilla maybe, or if you're going to overpower it physically with enough people. So that's where I'm like, Hamzat's not going to KO a gorilla. Like, you could KO a gorilla with like 10 Aspinalls. I don't think you can really. I don't think Hamzat's sleeping a gorilla. So what I think you need is you need enough Hamza Chimaevs to physically overpower it, which would be difficult because these things are very strong, you know. But I back 25 to 30 Hamza Chimaevs to just be too strong, grab this dude's legs. Like, imagine Hamza diving single legs from like 10 meters out, low single. The gorilla has no takedown defense. This gorilla is not sprawling a double leg. I'm telling you. 3 of these dudes on each leg, that's 6 of them. They're tipping a gorilla over. They work, they pass the guard. They're passing half guard. They're getting their way to side control. I'm backing like 25 gorillas. 25 Hamzats to beat a gorilla. Maybe less. I don't know. We need to test it, brother. We have to check the gorilla's grappling. Next up, though, Gene Silva. 45 to 70 Gene Silvas. Now, I've just realized I don't actually have Kevin Holland on the tier list, so putting 45 to 70 as a range is kind of retarded. But, still, Gene Silva, give me 50 Gene Silvas to KO a gorilla. Like, these dudes are going to be, like, we're thinking enclosed area. These dudes can't, like, climb up trees and fucking jump down on us. I'm backing Gene Silva to climb a fucking tree himself, let's be honest. Gene Silva's, like, RKOing a gorilla. Gene Silva would climb up a tree like it's the cage and just come down, bark, and just like drop a fucking 12 to 6 elbow on the gorilla's head. Let's be real. But yeah, I'm back at, like, you're telling me 50 Gene Silvas with like KO ability, solid grappling, good takedown defense. You know, we saw that against Bryce Mitchell. You're telling me 50 of these motherfuckers aren't sleeping a gorilla. I'm calling cap. These things aren't that big. The combined weight of 50 Gene Silvas. I'm thinking Gene Silva's walking around like 170 outside of camp. 170 times 50. Let me check. Calculator. I'm pulling this up on my phone. 170 times 50. That's a combined 8,500 kilos. Or pounds, sorry. Combined, yeah. Like, that's so much more than a gorilla. And you're telling me, like, the combined strength of 50 Gene Silvas is fucking mogging a gorilla, for sure. Anyway, let's move on to the next fighter. We got Morab Dvalishvili. Now, Morab, like I said before, you need some sort of finishing ability. Because, like, we don't know the gorilla's cardio levels. I can't imagine. Like, they'd probably have better cardio than, like, the average human in, like, a combat scenario, I'd say. But, like, trained fighters, you know, Morab's got the gas tank. You send me fucking 70 Morabs. You send me 70 Morabs failing single legs on a fucking silverback gorilla. I reckon they can wear him down. You know, the gas tank, I think this is, we're looking at like a 25-minute endeavor. You know, Aspinall, you got to kind of catch him quick. Gene Silva's probably within like 5 minutes. Morab, you're looking at like a 50-minute combat experience, you know. Morab's going to fail takedowns. I'm thinking we need about 50, like Hamzat, I'm thinking like 3 on each leg, 4 on each leg. I'm thinking you need like 10 Morab Dvalishvilis on each leg, just to even have a chance of failing the takedown, you know. So Morab, I reckon that it would take a lot of them. The thing is with Morab, if Morab didn't have the cardio, I think it would like literally be unlimited. I don't think they would be that style just wouldn't be able to beat the gorilla. But the chance of just wearing it down, I feel like, is like what you can go with if you're gonna get Morabs to beat a gorilla. Anyway, let's move on. Anthony Smith, you know, on paper, 5 years ago the gorilla's a easy matchup. Anthony Smith, you know, he's just not. He wasn't ready for the gorilla in terms of its ability as a double threat. You know. If the gorilla only had either the striking or the grappling, Smith's got it covered. Unfortunately, you know, it does have that double threat. It does have the takedowns also combined with the boxing. So I'm thinking Smith's probably cooked, you know. He's probably getting elbowed and curling up in a fetal position. You know, they'd say against some of these animals, you kind of, if you got a, you know, Joe Rogan has taught me one thing. It's you need a strong backpack and then you curl up in a fetal position. Anthony Smith's a fucking expert. So, you give me 100 Anthony Smiths curled up in a fetal position, the gorilla won't know what to do. I think he said that was for a bear, to be honest. But anyway, gorilla, yeah, you probably don't want to be curling up into a ball against a gorilla. It's probably just going to fucking stomp on your head. But anyway, next up, we move back up to the top tier. Shamil Gaziev. Shamil the Meal Deal is handling a bear with ease. A gorilla with ease. Either, any or. He is the gorilla. Shamil Gaziev is just a physical specimen, He's mogging the gorilla in every physical statistic. The gorilla standing between 4'11 and 5'11. Shamil Gaziev's absolutely mogging this dude, towering over him, 6'5". Gorilla's weighing in at like 450 pounds or whatever. Gaziev's weighing 500 pounds, pure lean muscle. Gaziev absolutely smokes a gorilla. Anyway, let's move on. Also, we're talking prime versions of all these fighters, by the way. And that's relevant for this next one, which is prime Yoel Romero. You're telling me 20 Yoels fucking everyone's talking about the gorilla's durability. Oh, it's 4 times thicker than a normal human or whatever. Another thing, if you guys didn't know, guys, this might be a crazy story for some of you. I'm sure none of you are going to have ever heard this before, but did you actually know that Yoel Romero, when he went to Australia, he had a fractured orbital, and they took him to the doctor there, and the doctor said, "Where did you find this guy?" And they go, "I know, he's incredible, right?" No, you don't understand. The tendons in his eyes, they're already healing. His tendons are 3 times thicker than the normal. But if you didn't know that story, guys, I'm sure I'm like the first one to ever tell you this. You definitely wouldn't have heard it from Joe Rogan ever, about 19 times on a podcast. Yeah, Yoel Romero, this man's durable. This man's got a chin. The gorilla's probably swinging a left hook at Yoel. He's eating that shit. Yoel's taking the punches. Give me 15... over under 16 and a half Yoel Romeros to beat a gorilla. Chat, let me know in the comments. I'm backing prime Yoel to like about 15, 16 prime Yoel Romeros. I reckon they get it done. Anyway, let's move on down the list. Yuri Prohaska. Yuri's all about the wildlife. Yuri's all about nature. He's all about animals. He's all about all this random shit. This man's brushing nettle bushes on his fucking skin. I don't know what he's up to. This man's like putting his hand in like a hole of fire ants or some shit. Yuri's up to some absolute goofiness. But I back Yuri to just autism max his way to beating a gorilla. Like, you're telling me you give me 25, 20 Yuri Prohaska throwing spinning elbows and fucking jumping like delayed flying knees, and the gorilla's gonna not know what to do. Like, gorillas are used to fighting like each other when they're all aggressive and they're trying to be all alpha and they're just swinging big meaty hooks at each other. Yuri Prohaska's throwing spinning elbows. You think you've ever fucking seen a gorilla throw a spinning elbow? I haven't. Enough said. Yuri's fucking sleeping this dude out cold. Anyway, next up, 45 to 70. Let me tell you about this kid, Joel Alvarez. I back at least one Joel Alvarez. Bear is cooked. Gorilla's cooked. The whole fucking animal kingdom is fucked. Give me Joel Alvarez throwing fucking flying knees and knees in the clinch, and I backed like 4 Joel Alvarez's to get a DAS choke on a gorilla, to be honest. Anyway, let's move on. Cheeto Vera. Now, the thing is with Cheeto is Cheeto would not actually attack the gorilla. Thing is, if a gorilla's fired up, you can't just range strike it. Cheeto Vera is gonna try and range strike it and try and like plot armor his way to a fucking head kick KO. Like, that's not happening. You're not head kick KO on a gorilla, probably. But Cheeto's gonna be spamming his little fucking teeps up the middle. Like, he's gonna be throwing some front kicks up the middle, trying to knock it out. I reckon Cheeto's circling it to the left, trying to land that high kick. The thing is with Cheeto, they're durable as fuck. So I'm backing like 70 Cheetos to last longer than like 30 who's like a more chinny bantamweight. Like O'Malley, for instance, I feel like O'Malley's not durable enough. With his Cheeto's got that durability. He's taking shots, he can take the damage, and I reckon he keeps walking forward. So I back like 70 Cheetos to just like eventually the gorilla's like, fuck this, bro, and then they just cower to the oncoming pressure of Cheeto Vera. Anyway, let's move on. Cody Garbrandt. Yeah, Cody's another guy. The durability is just not there. I just don't think. I can't let you get close. Cody's not getting close. Like, the gorilla could just spin around in circles with its arms out and just like hit a bunch of Cody Garbrandts, and they're just going out cold. Like, I don't think Cody would actually get to the gorilla to be honest. Like, Cody might break his bones on, like, punching the... Like, Cody might get shinned throwing a punch against the gorilla. Like, the impact might just knock him out cold. Anyway, let's move on. Chael Sonnen, undefeated, undisputed. Chael, I reckon, you know, Chael's only weakness that we've seen is triangles. Someone give me a logical explanation how a gorilla is going to triangle Chael Sonnen. It's not happening. Therefore, Chael wins. 50-45, I'm thinking. Out-wrestles him. Grapples him, you know, easy. Next up, Ngannou. Ngannou, to be honest, one Ngannou on a motorbike, I back him to beat the gorilla. I'm sorry. People forget, man. Ngannou on a motorbike. Kid's a marauder. No, sorry. But no, Francis Ngannou, all insensitive jokes aside, Ngannou, I do think, like, these guys that, like, there's people out there being like, it's just unrealistic to assume that even 200 men would beat a gorilla. And I'm just like, bro, like, you're telling me, okay, maybe like 100 fucking, like, yeah, okay, you give me 100 Neons, yeah, they're not beating a fucking gorilla. 200 Aiden Rosses and 300 Neons combined, they're not beating a gorilla. Just too soy. But, like, you give me 20 Ngannous, they're winning. Like, 15 Ngannous, 10 Ngannous is probably winning. Like, 3 of them, like, Ngannou's probably walking around like 290. What's 10 times 290? Like, 2,000, like, you give me 15 Ngannous, you're giving me like 3,500, like 4,000 pounds. The math ain't mathin', but you give me a lot of weight there. Like, these guys are out. Like, Ngannou's gonna mog a gorilla, realistically. He's the fucking first evolution, so it's like, he's not that far removed, you know? It's like the Benson Henderson of the fucking animal kingdom. It's just like, people forget, man, the gorilla invented the aggressive rage, you know, and Ngannou followed the footsteps, you know, he's the second evolution. But I back like 15 Ngannous to beat a gorilla, let's be real. Anyway, Buckley's just like a sort of downsized version. I back Joaquin Buckley to just throw big meaty hooks and just land something. Like, you give me 40 Joaquin Buckleys just spamming fucking boxing, like Mike Tyson combinations, I back him to find a finish, you know. Buckley's strong, he's got good takedown defense, he ain't getting out grappled by the gorilla. So I back Joaquin Buckley to win. Next up, Volkanovski. Give me Volk with a spatula, or give me 5 Volks with spatulas. They're absolutely whooping a fucking gorilla's ass, let's be real. No, but Volkanovski, he doesn't quite have the same offensive, like, power where he could KO a gorilla. Like, I'm back. If you give me a time limit, you give me Volk 25 minutes with the gorilla, he's dancing fucking rings around it. Gorilla's too slow. Volk's too fast for you. You know, he's popping that jab, he's tapping the inside low kicks. Volk's out-striking, schooling a gorilla. Cost 5 rounds. If you're going to the death, I'm thinking you probably need like 40, 50 Volks to win. Again, Volk's got physicality, he's a strong guy, good takedown defense too, so I back Volk to get it done. Anyway, Pantoja's up next. I worked so hard for these you guys. Pantoja would fucking try and, like, give the gorilla his Uber Eats order that he was delivering to, like, try and make it calm down. But no, Pantoja's got grappling. Again, you're telling me 70 Pantojas can't take a gorilla down and find a rear naked choke. That's not that ridiculous. It's not ridiculous. That's not ridiculous to say that. Like, Pantoja, give me 75 Pantojas to beat a gorilla. Fact. No cap. Anyway, Matt Schnell's up next. Yeah, Matt Schnell's getting fucking laid out cold. I don't care how many Matt Schnells you put in there with the gorilla, kid's getting fucking flatlines. Anyway, next up, my GOAT, Joshua Van. You give me one Joshua Van, he's winning a fucking 15-minute UD, 29-28. It's probably getting dropped in the first round. One Joshua Van out like quadruples up a gorilla on strikes. Like, this man's putting 190 strikes on a gorilla's head in 15 minutes. Let's be real. And just judging by that fucking size discrepancy or whatever, like that size range, there's a chance that Joshua Van at the fucking imposing height of 5'2" is still like taller than some gorillas. So like, you give me a like juvenile, you give me a teenage gorilla, I reckon Van outboxes it, you know, lands the body shots 29-28, like just puts strike numbers on his head. Anyway, next up, Cain Velasquez. You give me a like 15 prime cardio canes that we are drowning a gorilla. You know, I reckon we get the fucking rapist, pedophile cunt. You get him in there. I reckon we just do one of him. I back one of him to get it done. So we test that out first, and then after that, Velasquez can do his thing. But telling me 15 cardio canes out grappling and ground and pound TKO on a gorilla. Like, come on. Anyway, Islam Makhachev up next, black belt, who give him? Silverback gorilla, who give him? No, Islam, give me 25, 30 Islams, take him down. Some of them are going to strike him, some of them be on his legs, some be like throwing head kicks, I back Islam, like 30 Islam, 40 Islams to beat a gorilla. Ilia Topuria up next. Ilia's got the power, right? He's a bit smaller though, so like, I could just see a bunch of Ilias just getting fucking decapitated by a gorilla. And, Ilia does struggle with the size difference. We've seen that. I can see the gorilla throwing up a head kick, dropping Ilia maybe to a knee. It's just about whether Ilia can take the head kick from a gorilla. Like, can he survive the early shots coming his way, the height difference, Can he spot those shots coming? Maybe. If he lands that three-piece, Ilia gets on the inside. You give me 25, 30, 40... You give me 50 Ilias on the inside throwing boxing combinations. One of them's catching the lights, putting the lights out. Trust. Peter Yan's up next. Again, Yan's just a case of like skill-wise, pound for pound. If you size down the gorilla to like a 135-pound man, or just 135, Yan's schooling this thing, right? Even if you give it its same like strength and shit, just make it smaller. Peter Yan's putting a fucking masterclass on at 50-45, but it's just like Yan doesn't really have enough power going back, so you'd probably need like 70 Peter Yans just in terms of like to overwhelm a gorilla. Like the durability is the factor. Like you could get for anyone to act like you can't get all these guys like on the inside actually within physical range of it, like, oh, you're cooked there, they're all just gonna die before you even get to touch it. I'm like, what? A gorilla is not some long range, it's not fucking throwing out like jabs, it's not jabbing you at the range, like it's gonna fight you on the inside. So Peter Yan, I like the body kicks, I like the Muay Thai. Alright, give me 70 Peter Yan's gorilla. Peter Yan gets it done in 5. Anyway, next up, Tai Tuivasa. Now Tai is the only one on this list who can actually like outweigh a gorilla just on his own. You give me 100 Tai Tuivasas, they're fucking putting up ridiculous weight numbers, right? But unfortunately, Tai just doesn't have the athleticism. He doesn't have the speed or the explosiveness. He's got durability. We know Tai can take a shot, but I just can't trust Tuivasa at this stage of his career. Bloat maxing up to 450 pounds is what my sources are telling me. Just Tai training out of Planet Fitness, I don't think he's beating a gorilla, to be real. Anyway, next up we got Tito Ortiz. Tito Ortiz with cheese, grapes, and a violin and wine is winning. Tito Ortiz, prime onion cutting Tito Ortiz is absolutely schooling a gorilla. Prime innovator, light bulb turning on or like screwing in Tito Ortiz. That man, absolutely schooling a gorilla easily. Brock Lesnar's up next. Give me 15 to 20 prime Brock Lesnar's, probably powerbomb a fucking gorilla. Sean Brady. This is what I mean. Like when people are just like, no way people could beat a gorilla. Like, Sean Brady's like a fucking human welterweight version of a gorilla. Like this dude's physical as hell. He's a like big dude. He's got good back on him. Pause. But no, give me 20 Sean Brady's are just like out grappling a gorilla. Like Brady's strong. Brady's real strong. Like if you triple the strength of Sean Brady, I'm thinking that's like the strength of a gorilla. Let's be real. Like 4 Sean Brady's is probably enough to like just like pound for pound match the strength. You give me like another 4 times that, 16 Sean Brady's, honestly. If you're looking at guys under 200 pounds, Brady is for sure. We're also assuming if this gorilla's having a weight cut, like these fighters are fighting at their weight class, but the gorilla is also cutting like a percentage of its weight, I'm thinking the durability ain't going to be there. Cardio's going to be gone a little bit. So if we're talking prime, no weight cut gorilla, it's tough. You give me a gorilla cutting down to 300 pounds, like I'm backing the boys all day. So Sean Brady, I'd back Brady to out-grapple. I'm thinking guillotine. 2 of them just connect the arms, get that guillotine, get the tap. Anyway, next up we got Justin Gaethje. Gaethje's going to throw some big ugly low kicks. Gaethje's going to swing some big meaty hooks. I would consider just Poirier's pretty much in the same spot, to be honest. Gaethje, Poirier, very similar in terms of what their approach would be. I think they're just they'll go for it. You know, they ain't going to be scared. Some of these other guys might like not back themselves. They might not stand the base. Gaethje's stand on the business. Gaethje's probably getting fucking flatlined with 10 seconds to go. So yeah, give me 50 Gaethjes to beat a gorilla. Belal Muhammad's up next, just no finishing potential. The grappling is there, I just don't rate him as much as like a Sean Brady with a submission threat. So I don't think Belal's subbing a gorilla. I'm thinking, again, no, if we got a time limit, Belal's winning a UD, obviously 49-46. To the death, I'm thinking you probably need like 70 to 80 Belals to get a gorilla out of there. Standing TKO, of course. It's a referee stoppage. Next up, Kron Gracie. Kron Gracie's gonna fucking pull guard, and Kron Gracie ain't gonna actually get within range to attack the gorilla. Kron Gracie's gonna get on the gorilla's leg and start going for a fucking leg lock. Kron Gracie's heel hooking a gorilla. Give me 10 Kron Gracies to find a fucking submission. Give me a team of Kron Gracie, Claudio Puellas, Ryan Hall, and who's another guy that goes for Imanari rolls and shit? I don't know. But yeah, give me the big three. Claudio Puellas, Kron Gracie, Ryan Hall. They're heel hooking a gorilla. Anyway, back up to the top tier. Angel Jubilee. Why did you dream, sir? Jubilee's going to redeem the bear. Trust. He's going to bring... If Jubilee with prep time absolutely kills a gorilla. Like, Jubilee with prep time, it's not even a discussion. The stench this man could unload on a gorilla would be nuts. Like, the gorillas wouldn't be able to handle it. Next up, Poatan Shum. Give me 20 Pereiras to catch a left hook. Like, I don't know. Pereira's a big guy, strong guy. I'm talking like 230 pounds Pereira, no weight cut. Give me 20, 230 pounds walking around in like just before training camp starts, just before he starts to weight cut Poatan. Give me prime Pereira. In 5. 7-game series, I'm thinking Poatan in 5. Let's move on. Magomed Ankalaev. Yes, Ankalaev beat Pereira, but it's a different discussion. You know, when you're talking about who would win in a fight between two people, it's a different discussion to who would you more trust to beat a bear. Like, I'm thinking we need 20 Pereiras. I'm thinking we probably need 25, 30 Ankalaevs. They just don't quite have the KO power to get the gorilla out of there, to be honest. So, Ankalaev, good grappler. I'm thinking he's failing some takedowns against the cage on the gorilla. Maybe throws up a head kick, maybe throws up a front kick up the middle. But yeah, I think you would need more Ankalaevs than Pereiras to beat a gorilla. Michael Chandler's up next, though. Michael Chandler's adopting the gorilla, first and foremost. He's just trying to find a triplet for Hap and Ace. But Michael Chandler's going to throw big meaty overhands. Michael Chandler, let's be honest, he's probably getting double-legged. He's probably getting taken down. He's probably getting ground and pound TKO'd by a gorilla. So I'm thinking you're probably needing like 60 Chandlers throwing big meaty hooks with the size difference, with the height difference. It would be difficult for him to catch the chin, I think, to be honest. So next up though, Michel Pereira. Now, Michel Pereira is the only like heavier weight class guy in this tier, really. He's the biggest guy in this tier, and he's an athletic dude. But I'm thinking you just need to deploy like 70 to like you need 100 of these guys just to kind of make sure they don't all gas out. Like, I'm thinking we're running quick rotations, bench rotations. You know, one goes out there, lands a fucking backflip to the nose, and then you sub him out, one back in before they actually get damaged. Give them time to recharge. I'm thinking we're giving them like rest breaks. 5 at a time. We're running lots. Like most of these other guys, you send them all same time. You send all these Pereiras at the same time, they're all gassing out inside like 30 seconds. So I'm thinking we need rotations, work that kind of system, and hope the gorilla can gas out before Pereira. Anyway, next up, Henry Cejudo. I just think Cejudo's too small. He's got no offense, he's got no power coming back the gorilla's way. Maybe can take him down, Triple C. I just don't think the gorilla cares about Olympic wrestling credentials, to be real. Next up, though, back up to the top tier. Give me Conor McGregor on coke. Put that, give me a slightly overweight female gorilla. I'm taking Conor in 3. I'm taking Conor via lawsuit. Via getting law. The gorilla's winning in the courtroom, not in the battlefield. To be honest, you give me a fat chick gorilla. Give me a mid 5 out of 10 gorilla. Conor's taking that easy. But no, give me coked up McGregor with the proper 12, with the powder. You know, I'm taking Conor, landing the left. You know, give me a Conor McGregor to just cat. Give me prime McGregor. No, even before the coke, give me the McGregor that fought Eddie Alvarez. He's piecing up a gorilla on his own. Dricus du Plessis up next. So Dricus is like really the only middleweight here. Because let's be honest, Yoel is not a fucking middleweight. But Dricus is the only like consistent like actual middleweight sized fucking person here. But in this tier. But I'm backing like 20 Dricuses to win. Like these dudes are gonna be physical. They're gonna be aggressive. They're not gonna care. They're gonna go for it. I'm backing 20 Dricuses to get it done. Prime Vitor's up next. TRT Vitor. It's a similar amount to a Dricus, I'd say, but just not quite as physical. He's got the power. He's got the danger on the feet. I'm thinking head kicks are a weapon that we utilize here with Vitor. But yeah. Anyway, JDM's up next. JDM, again, he's just like a similar situation to Willia. So he could be higher up, but I was just like, I just didn't have room. But I'm thinking, like, give me 25, like, give me 40 JDMs. So, like, if we're trying to be safe, like, if you say, like, okay, you can start at 1 for every extra of these fighters you put out there. Like, you start with $1 million. $1 million if you get one person to beat a gorilla. You take 10,000 off for every person you add. So if you add 10 people, you take home 900,000. That's actually a fucking great idea. Mr. Beast, get on it. You get 800 grand if you put 20 out there. So 500 grand if you put 50 people out there. I'm banking a 500 grand with 50 JDMs. They're boxing up a fucking gorilla. Anyway, next up, who we got? Demetrius Johnson. DJ's he's very small. He's skillful. Pound for pound, he schools a gorilla, but yeah, I'm thinking we're needing a lot of DJs at 5'2" to maybe find like a flying armbar. Ian Gary is up next. You know, the Cuck. Cuck's just not got enough power. Cuck's going to try and range strike. Cuck's probably going to ask the gorilla to root his wife, so that's not going to go well, to be honest. Next up, let's speed through these. We'll get this video done before 30 minutes. Mario Bautista. One Bautista versus gorilla. I'm backing that, you know. I'm trusting a Mario Bautista to get the W. John Jones is up next. It probably should be lower, but I just didn't think of someone that I've got lower than him that I would put above Jones. Jones is eye poking the gorilla. He's not shotting it. Has no power at all, so he's not knocking down or knocking out the gorilla. But give me Jones to maybe run over the gorilla in his car, you know, flee the scene, come back with another John Jones. That's what I'm thinking. Atiba Gauthier, you know, we need to see more from him, but so far he does look like a prime candidate to be able to KO a gorilla. You give me 25 Atiba Gauthiers, they're landing a fucking volume boxing combination against the cage, putting that shit out. Holloway's going to point down to the fucking middle of the ground and sleep a gorilla, let's be real. Raul Rosas Jr., Rosas is going to just chihuihuis. He's going to get 100 Raul Rosas to simultaneously chihuihuis and then just burst the gorilla's eardrums. And last up, Jimmy Flick. I'm taking Jimmy the Brick Flick to just get whooped up. Anyway, that'll do it, guys. Hope you enjoyed the absolute retardation of this video. Like, subscribe, all that shit. And yeah, go away. Goodbye.